What's up, y'all? Welcome back to your boy channel. It is TarekAli, and what else did I want to say with that? I don't know, we just gonna move on. What's up, y'all? Okay, so this light y'all see in my face is my computer, because you already know we here to answer some questions. Well, it's not we, but it's just me, but I'm here to answer some questions. Y'all, I just got it all, I'm all over the place today. You know what? And I'm not gonna edit this because this is the real. So yes, I'm here to answer questions. You know, I always do these questions things. I said I would do them weekly, but I think it's better if I just space them out because you guys don't ask me questions. I mean, y'all do ask me questions, but most of the questions you ask me, I usually answer to you on Instagram. And I like to answer back to a lot of you guys, so I usually answer it back in text. So there's certain questions that I do save for videos, so make sure you ask me them. And most of the time with the questions that I do pick to answer is not because, oh, I don't want to answer this, I don't want to answer that. I kind of like the questions I answer to all be kind of in the same topic. And because I leave Paris in 2 weeks, yes, I leave Paris in 2 weeks. I'm just trying to just flow over it and say that really fast because I don't want to be upset. But I leave Paris in 2 weeks to go back to America, so I thought it would be best to answer the questions that had the most to do with Paris, my move here, and you know, like everything else that had to do with what I was doing here. So, those are the questions I'm going to be answering this time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at these questions. What are you studying and what are your career goals? Hi, you must be new here, but no, thank you for your question, but what am I studying? So my major, I go to Georgia State University in Atlanta, Georgia. I majored in biology and I'm pre-dental. I'm studying to be a dentist. I've been studying and doing internships for pre-med and for dental since I was in 10th grade. So that's what I'm studying to be as a dentist. So after the 4 years, when I finished getting my degree and I finished, you know, being a bio major, the goal was to, after that, move to LA and pursue my dreams of hopefully becoming an actor and, you know, becoming an Ellen/Oprah. You know, I want to be the Ellen with the fun and the, you know, helping people, and then the Oprah with the intelligence and the, you know, serious topics and stuff like that. Like, you know, as for my channel, you can actually get that from me as like that. You know, I really want to talk about intellectual things, but at the same time, I want to have fun. So it's like a mixture of those two. And I also want to act. So I told myself, you know, that's always been my goal and my dream since I've been a little boy, acting in plays and stuff like that. And I told myself that, you know, I cannot give up my dreams because the only way that you fail at your dreams is if you don't give it a try. So I told myself that after college, I would move to LA and I would do it for 2 or 3 years. And if it doesn't work out, like, I think even if it doesn't work out, but in those 3 years, I think God will communicate and tell me, you know, if it's for me, if it's not for me, like, it's, you know, I feel like I'll have a sense in my head, like, should I keep working or this really just isn't for me? And so I told myself I would do that, and if not, then I would go into dental school. I know a lot of people like hear me when I say this and like hear this like, what? Like, you're putting dental school and med school as a backup plan? It's not a backup plan. Like, even if I do become famous and I do become an actor and I do my dream job, I always told myself at some point I would stop and go to graduate school again. It would be the hardest thing, I'm sure, because I'll forget all the science, but I would retake those classes and then go to grad school because I actually do love healthcare, and that is also one of my dreams also, but it's just my main dream, like I've wanted to do since I was a baby, was be on TV, be, you know, and inspire others and do what I love. So I also love healthcare, and I'm gonna do both. And you know, I believe it's gonna happen for me. God, you know, I feel like He's communicated to me that it's gonna happen, so you just gotta work towards that, and that's my career goals, people. Okay, next question. Oh my gosh, do French people really smell bad? Okay, laugh my ass off. I've never been, but they seem so stuck up, so that would be hilarious. Okay, I just wanna you know, first of all, I love you, whoever this is, because, you know, clearly you're a Tavy, you know, you support me, you know, you listen to my videos, so you went to ask the question. So, thank you. But I'm just gonna let you know that this sounds very ignorant. First of all, France is full of millions of people, and I mean, just to say that they seem so stuck up, I mean, that probably is from what, I don't know, that's like a stereotype of French people, is that they're stuck up, they're bougie, because the language sounds like this. It's just, I know you're probably playing, like, I know in your head you actually don't really think that, but, so I'm not even gonna take that seriously. But do they stink? I'm not gonna say French people stink. I wouldn't go as far as say French people stink, but there isn't a common aroma that I smell here and there. I don't know if it's, like a different smell for the country, or if I'm just not used to certain gases, cars, emissions, food, maybe. I don't know. But I will say there is a common aroma that is not pleasant for me as an American that I'm not used to, and it smells a little bit like must. I'm not going to say that it's the people. I'm not going to say it's the people. I will say it's a certain demographic of people, but I don't want to say on camera because that's just not right. But I'm just going to say that certain demographic, I'm not saying it's all of them. I'm just saying that when I'm around that type of people, I smell it. So I've come to the conclusion that maybe it's them, maybe it's not, but that's here or there. I'm just not going to say, it's because I'm not generalizing, and I'm not getting dragged. But it would be a real reach to say that all French people stink. I hope I answered that good, because that could go real bad real fast. How could you afford to move to Paris and do all of this traveling at such a young age? Does YouTube pay that good? I'm gonna answer backwards. Does YouTube pay that good? YouTube pays, I don't even know if it's good or bad, because there's nothing to compare it to, but if you get a lot of views, your check will look nice. But the thing is, my YouTube money and everything that I make from, social media doesn't really go to me. Like, I don't use that money for shopping and stuff. I use that money, it goes right back into YouTube. Like, all these effects y'all see, the effects and the quality, the camera, saving for a camera, that's why I appreciate other YouTubers where I see a lot of quality in what they do and they get a lot of views, because if they don't, I know they're just spending that money on themselves. And I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money, but I can tell the real creators and the real creatives and the artists and the people who actually put time and a lot of time into what they do. Like, the editing of my video takes hours. Like, I can tell when you spend hours on your video. So I just want to give out quality. But as far as how could you afford to move to Paris? So, okay, so a lot of people are wondering how I have like all this money. People think I'm rich. I moved to Paris. I have this apartment. Then I put the price of my apartment on the tour. Okay, so first of all, you have to understand, I've said it before, but I think people just, think move to Paris, like, but, how did you move to Paris at 20? I'm studying abroad, first of all. So I'm in school, so I'm studying, but still a lot of people are, wondering because you have to pay for school. So the good thing about my study abroad program is that I get to pay the same tuition as my school back home. They don't like, usually some study abroad programs you have to pay the tuition of the school you're going to in that other country, but I don't pay this new school anything except for the registration fee I had to pay for my badge, and that was it. So everything that needs to be paid is the same back in my school in America. And as you guys know from my other videos, I have a full ride. So as far as my schooling and everything, that's free. I don't have to pay for that. So then you have to go to the apartment. I'm giving y'all all my business. Okay, but this is gonna help you. As far as my apartment, I have a certain scholarship. I don't know if I'm allowed to say which scholarship because I'm not allowed to say how much money my scholarships give me. But one of my scholarships pays for, they give me a certain amount of money every year, and I can use it on whatever I want to that is involved or has to do with school. So if it's as far as gas money to get to school, or your living arrangements to go to school because you can't be homeless in school. So anything that it has to do with school, they'll pay for it. So my apartment, it's like housing. I can pay for housing at a university, or they will pay for off-campus housing. So they pay for my apartment. So I don't pay anything for this apartment. It was all free, and they give me a limit. It's the average in that city, so that's pretty much, I just had to find the average and they would pay it. So there's that. And so I don't pay for my school, I don't pay for my housing, and I did my internship over the summer at National Institutes of Health, and I got paid for that. There's a stipend, and also I worked at Ben & Jerry's part-time, so I worked 7 days a week. So I knew I was coming to Europe. And I knew that, I wanted to travel. I didn't want to worry about eating. I didn't want to be, being a typical college student in Europe, like, oh, I can't do this, oh, I gotta do this, because I didn't know what this country was gonna give. I didn't know if it was expensive, I didn't know this and that. So to prepare myself, and you know, the real reason I'm actually answering this is so you guys can plan and prepare yourselves also, because usually I wouldn't tell you all my business, like you don't ask someone's financial situation, but I think this, you know, I'm here to inspire and to help, so you know, that's what I'm gonna do. But if you know where you're gonna be or what you want to do, you need to plan accordingly. And I knew that I wanted to spend a lot. I knew I wanted to travel a lot. I knew that when I traveled, I didn't want to go to places and be like, oh, that's 10 euros. Oh, I need something that's 5 euros. No, I don't want to worry about the euros. So I worked 7 days a week, and I worked an internship and at my part-time 7 days a week. And it was way over full-time a week. It was way over 40 hours a week. But I knew that when I came here, I wanted to be very comfortable and I wanted to have a good time. So that's why I worked that much. So that's how you answer that question, okay? Switch, okay. How do you deal with negative people without being rude? You don't respond. Honestly, I mean, that's what I do. I just don't respond, or I laugh. I don't know, I'm a different type of breed here, you know? Some things just don't bother me. I've been through so much in my life that you just realize what to ignore. Honestly, it's just not worth it. It's really not worth it. But, you know, to give a good answer, it depends on it. Is it your friend or is it somebody you don't care about? If it's somebody you don't care about or you don't hang out with, don't respond. But if it's your friend, you tell them like, hey, like, you know, hey Maria, like, you know, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm just saying this as a friend, but like sometimes you know, you're kind of negative and I just want to make sure you're okay. Always put some concern in there, even if you're not concerned. It makes whatever you say okay. Okay, just be like, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm worried, or, you know, I just wanted to see if you were, just seem concerned, okay? Because then you can't come off wrong. Like, they don't think you're being rude because you were concerned. You know what I mean? Just take it to the side and, you know, have a little convo. That's all you gotta do. Communication is key. Did you learn things about yourself since you started traveling in Europe? If you did, what? I learned that it's not about where you go, it's about who you go with. And you can go to the most boringest place ever. If I'm with somebody I enjoy, that has fun, that knows how to be positive, just have a good time, it's gonna be a good time. And I realize when I do travel alone, I have to talk to myself. You have to talk to yourself because you don't have any energy to bounce off. If you just keep your headphones in, or if you don't talk, then you kind of just get quiet and it seems kind of boring. You have to talk out loud, laugh at your jokes, make jokes and laugh at them. You know, have dinner with yourself and enjoy it, because if you don't, I think a lot of people focus on the fact that they're alone and they start to get in their feelings. But if you just focus on yourself and talk to yourself, you don't have room to think as much because you're talking, and you just enjoy yourself. I mean, that's one thing about self-love that, you know, it seems like a joke, but it's serious. You just gotta really self-love yourself. Treat yourself like another person. So those are the end of the questions. These were a little bit more serious. I know y'all wanted, like, you know, to understand my experience here in France. I didn't want to, you know, play too much and be, you know, my playful self, because, you know, I wanted to actually get across my answer, especially for some of them that were pretty much serious, and I wanted y'all to understand, you know, how I was blessed to come to France and how I was blessed to come to Europe and not pay anything for it. Like, it was completely free. So it's really a blessing, and I just want y'all to understand that if you work hard enough and if you do these scholarships and if you watch my videos about internships and scholarships, that you could have it too. Like, I'm not special, okay? I just had a story and it helped me work harder, and I'm trying to give y'all my story, and hopefully y'all can live through my story and do the same and work just as hard and understand that you can live just this life, this perfect life of traveling and going to Paris and doing all these things, going to school for free and not having to worry about loans and debt. If you just work hard, then you could play later, and then your play might be paid for. So that's just the message I'm trying to get across. That's really the reason I really wanted to answer these questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions, make sure you go to mycuriouscat.me/TarekAli, TarekAli. Please spell it right. Or you can go to my Instagram at itstaeken and just DM me. Love my tabies. I'm tired, as you can probably see. I can't finish my words. Anyway, I love my tabies, and I'll see y'all in the next video.